You are going to die. It can happen anytime, at any moment. But you still have time. The question is, what are you going to do with that time left? In this era that it's always on the run, everything is so fast happening, this is going to be more of a slow burn with occasional mistakes. But if you endure till the end, I think you will find yourself with a good blueprint to start with, no matter how evolved you are. I think the topic for today is going to be that background process that's running behind your head, even if you have health, right? If you have good health, if you have a good family, if you have a good relationship, if you have kids, if you are, let's say, on the Maslow pyramid, you're almost at the top. But not necessarily only at the top. But I think this video is going to be for those who are seeking to do something for themselves, for the society, for those who have those routines and they want to break their routines. But not only for those ones. It can also be for the ones who try to jumpstart maybe their lives and they don't know how. And what I'm aiming here to do, it's to do a set of examples and real life situations that I've been and how I was able to progress through them. And by doing this, I hope you'll resonate. And while you resonate, you are going to extract the knowledge and move forward and provide you with real help by doing so. I can give you an example of what I want to do, right? So I think roughly 13, 15 years ago, I was working in US and I had this friend, which we were working kind of a hard job, right? Not so easy. We're doing hospitality work, right? But that's not really important. And I have this great friend of mine, which was a priest, and I had these deep conversations with him about the life itself and the essence of things and so on, right? And one time we were just standing on the beach on a break, right? And he goes and asks me, what is your greatest fear? And I said to him back then, my greatest fear is that I'm going to die. He is like, how you're still afraid of this? And I'm saying to him, this is what I'm afraid of. Exactly, this is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of dying. Aren't you afraid? I'm asking him. And he's like extremely calm and composed and said to me that he gave like a lot of thought to this particular subject. And I mean like a lot of thought. And the conclusion was that he was able to accept the thought, to realize that this is going to happen and he gets no control over it whatsoever, except not damaging his health until then, right? Intentionally, by abusing his body and his mind, right? But this is not something that he can control. This is something that it's natural and is going to happen. And he made peace with it a long time ago. And I don't know, the way he talked, right? The way he talked, for me, it made like a big impact, right? So just in a blink of a second like this, my fear of death was cured. But I had this conversation multiple times with many people and I couldn't resonate, right? But with this guy, the way he talked and the way he put the problem, it resonated with me. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to give you some examples. I'm not going to sell you a recipe to how to become a millionaire. has no relevance, or how to become like a spiritual guru, or how to become, I don't know, whatever. I don't have the answer. The answer will always be within you, and you have to search for it, right? As I've also searched within myself, and I was able to find it. And if I was able to find it, I think you can also be able to find it, right? And maybe you don't have to waste so much time as I did. I think this video, it's also for the ones starting their lives in their early 20s. Life is extremely hard, even nowadays, with all this tech and all these opportunities. The competition, it's fierce. I think it's fiercer than, I think, 20 years ago when I was in my 20s and so. But my message for you is, do not give up. It's that you have to limit social media more, put filters, and try to construct something, right? Whatever it is. And I will try to give you like a blueprint, right? I'm going to start to give you examples how I was able to, and I'm, yeah, I blocked, I flinched a little bit. Which brings us to our first thing that you have to do. The first thing that you have to do is to try to think outside the box. And not think, but rather be outside of the box. Have you ever had this feeling that you have a problem that you want to solve, right? You have a problem, you want to solve it, and you don't find a solution. So then what happens is that you ask a friend, right? You ask a friend for some guidance and so on. And he just comes like this with an answer. How can he do that? Simple. You put in the details in a logical way, maybe also emotional if you're a good, I don't know, transmitter of emotions, I don't know how to say it, a good conveyor, right? You know how to convey your emotions, to express your feelings. And once you did that, he gives you the answer. So what you need to do is to go from your routine, right? You need to go away from your routine. You need to go on a vacation. You need to go to a place that's far away from your routine, right? But you need to break from your circle. If you're in that circle, it's like trying to quit drinking alcohol for a period, but at some point you're going to end up meeting your friends again, and you're going to get hooked up again, or smoking, right? Try to quit for a couple of days and so on, for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then you see your friends again. You see your friends again, everything starts again. And at least 1 hour per day, I think it should be at least for a minimum of 5 days. If 5 days, maybe a maximum of 10, and even more if you have enough time and finance, right? Going to a nice place, a beautiful place that calms your mind. And then you go there, and what you need to do is to think for at least 1 hour at what you want to do. Whether is you want to change something, you want to help somebody, you want to help yourself, you want to help your parents, you want to build a business. Maybe you want to start a course, maybe you want to quit your job and do like a better job, maybe you want to do a certification, whatever you want to do, right? This I can guarantee you, if you go and you go outside, you will always have a different perspective of your life, because you're outside of that box. You're there. Going back, after you do this, you'll get a certain feeling that, hey, maybe I was too much in my thing, right? Now, the devil is in the details, of course. There's going to be a lot of ups of good and bad, right? You will always think about it. If I want to start something, it's going to be this, it's not going to be like that, it's going to be hard, it's going to be easy. Thing is, excuses can always be found, right? But I've seen some great people, some really smart people, right, on their deathbeds, right? And the biggest regrets of their lives were that they haven't done some stuff. They haven't tried their ideas. I should have done that. I could have done it like this. I was so lazy to do that. I didn't have the courage to do it. And so on, right? Maybe you will have them even faster when you're getting old. And you could have been like a great athlete, but you didn't have the courage to do it so. You didn't have the discipline to do it so. You didn't have the motivation to do so, right? There's a lot of things that you can have that can, that can block your path, right? I've seen so many great people in my life, so many great people, even around me, would have a greater potential than I have. They could have surpassed me, I think, a lot, right? If only they would have had persistence and a little bit of discipline. These two things. I wouldn't say ambition, but like more maybe determination, right? To be determined to do something for themselves. Not ambition like to show like a car to somebody, to show like a house, to show you his wealth and so on. Going back to our subject, right? You went to the vacation, you get this feeling, right? You get a certain feeling that it's possible, right? That it's possible and I want to do something. And here is like a breaking point that's going to happen. As soon as you go back to your house, you take the plane, you take the car, or you just, I don't know, take the bus and you come home, and you're entering the same routine, the same Ouroboros, the serpent that eats its tail, right? You're entering the same loop. You're done. You're done. So this is the basic, the first breaking point, is that you would need to do a sacrifice. Without sacrifice, you will not be able to do anything. And I think you already know that. Or if you don't know, then you will have to understand it. So you have to sacrifice a portion of your wasted time. So from a day you wake up, you work, or maybe you do whatever you have to do. Most of the people, right? They wake up, they do the shower, they eat something, they go to work, right, and so on. And in the evening, what do? They work like a lot, and now we have to relax, right? We have to watch like 3 episodes of, I don't know, Squid Game on Netflix. We have to, I don't know, play some video game. I want to play Warzone for 3 hours. I want to play, I don't know, some other game, some video game, right? You need to relax, you need to vent out, because you feel like this is your reward system, right? This is how the reward system goes. You did a sacrifice by turning up to a job that maybe you don't like, right? Or even if you like it, right? You feel that you have to relax, and it's a very good thing to relax. And there's a thin line, like there's a thin line between delusions and delusions of grandeur, right? There's also a thin line between relaxing and over-relaxing. So you need to cut a chunk from that relax, or that doom scrolling that you're doing on Facebook, or that Reels video that you're watching on TikTok or on Instagram or whatever app that you're using. You need to do that and incorporate a plan to achieve what you were thinking when you were outside of the box. If you manage to do this for at least, I would say, a week, and the first week is going to be horrible. I mean, it's going to be horrible because you're going to enter like, how is that word? I have a lapsus. Is the word when you're addiction. You have like addiction and you don't have that thing. Like you're smoking and you're addicted to smoking and you cannot smoke, right? I completely forgot the term. What's happening is that you're going to enter that particular stage, withdrawal, right? You're going to enter the withdrawal phase. You're going to second thought what you're doing is, why you're doing this, and so on. So now I'm going to give you a secondary good example. So the difference between a regular man and a hero is that they're both afraid, but the hero manages to control his fear just a little bit longer than a regular people, and this is how he becomes a hero, right? You need to find that hero within you, which I'm pretty sure it exists. I'm really sure that it exists. I mean, it exists in everybody. And you have to not give in and just continue. You have to remember that the turtle wins the race. I think that persistence is the most important quality, and discipline. The rest don't even matter. I mean, if you don't have this, if you want to achieve something, I don't think it's possible of achieving anything worth nothing in this life without persistence. I simply don't think it's possible. There's another thing that I can tell you it, and I think it will help you like a lot, right? There is this old philosopher called Seneca, which I'm pretty sure that some of you heard, some of you maybe didn't, no problem. So this guy called Seneca, I think he lived in Syracuse, but I'm not 100% sure if he lived there. Archimedes used to live there, but Seneca, not so sure. But what really matters is what he said. So what he said, it's something that if you can really, really understand, and when I say really understand, like feel it, and with every fiber of your being, right? You understand this, I think that you will be unstoppable. Unstoppable. I mean, there's endless possibilities. And the wording saying it goes like this: we become what we give our attention to. It's that simple. I'm going to repeat it. We become what we give our attention to. They had a lot of time to think back then. And they didn't have the pollution that we're having nowadays with this internet, which is not regulated, and you get this information out of everywhere and you need to put filters all the time and so on. Back then, they had a lot of time to think and so on. So I think there are profound people nowadays, of course, more complex, more intricate, but they will always find a way to see that the less is more, the way they saw it 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Being emotional, it's a good thing, but also a bad thing. And also there's something that you need to control, and I'm going to give you an example how you can control it. I was learning for the driver's license, right? I think I read that book 2-3 times, and yeah, I was able to get like a good score, right? But when it comes to driving itself, I already knew how to drive before I took this driving license, and still, when I was with the cop first time, I simply froze after a while, and I was extremely scared that what's gonna happen, I'm not good enough. I had this cocktail of thoughts and emotions and feelings that, and I do start doing stupid things, right? And then I got back to the capital where I was doing my school, right, and my courses, and stumble upon this guy Scipio, and Scipio Africanus was like a Roman general. I might confuse him, and he actually was able to expel the Carthaginians, right, which were pillaging the Roman Empire back then. And he said this thing that life is 10% what happens to me and I can control, and 90% it's how I react. That put me a little bit on the thought. And I was thinking a little bit, I was trying to think how would a guy like that, like they were not surviving too much in that era. I think maximum they were like 30 years old, right? So they had to be friends, that they have to be extremely, they had to navigate this tumult of emotions and human behavior really, really good, because they were having friends, they were having foes that they had to be careful. They had to be even more careful, I think, about their friends that they're going to betray them and so on, and make alliances. And it was always how you would react to this kind of situations, right? Every day you could die. So for him, I think it was quite the challenge. And when he said that, I think he realized this, that restraint and discipline and all of this controlling your reactions, it's really important, right? So with this thought in my mind, I went for a second time, right? On the second time, I passed the test and so on, and then I started driving. For 50 minutes, I went extremely good. But then I made a mistake. And then I screwed up again. And I failed again. Simply failed. And then I had to go the third time, right? But the third time when I went and still going through the same thing, I remember that I went like really, really good. Half of the journey, right? Half of the loop that I was supposed to do. Because usually it's like 30 minutes, right? If you're lucky, then maybe 5 minutes and you're off the hook, right? But with this guy, I started and we went like for the whole tour, right? But I didn't flinch. For a second. I did mistakes. I realized they were mistakes. I realized when I did them, but I hold on to that feeling, right? To that first feeling, and I passed it, of course, then. And the feeling was pretty good. And it was a small victory. When you're young, you should take this, you should amass these sorts of small victories, because they will give you like a different taste of it's going to give you the taste that things that are humanly possible to you as well, right? Okay, I'm not talking about quantum physics, which you have to have a certain training and you have to have a certain brain to understand what's happening there. But building a business, building a family, building a career, building yourself, it's not rocket science. They're common things and you can do them, right? Even if you're down, and you can be like really, really down, one cannot really taste the paradise unless he known true hell. So I think those of you who are rock bottom, right? You hit rock bottom. I think you can rise and be the greatest. The greatest. Why? Because you have the greatest potential to understand and to truly appreciate the work that you can put in to something. This is for the ones that are really angry with yourself, with life. I also have friends which are extremely angry with themselves and with life itself. And life, it's kind of hard mode on, right? Especially harder if you're a proud man, if you know that your potential can be extremely high, and also if you're a just person. Nobody is ever hated more than the one who speaks the truth. That's a known fact. I want to give you a tip. From some points of view, it's okay to be angry, but it depends a little bit how you see the situation, right? If you're able to channel that anger and do something with it, something constructive is good. But just staying angry at yourself, staying angry at the society, staying angry at everybody, is not going to help you do anything. Like, for nothing. You're just in paralyzed mode, right? Your emotions are paralyzed. Your chemistry in your brain, it's paralyzed. You cannot do anything. So there's a way out of this. I cannot give you exactly the key. We're always going to be prone to anger, especially nowadays where there's always notifications happening, always emails incoming, or as you're at work. And there's a lot of things happening, people coming, there's a lot of people, we're too stressed. There's too much impulses going on, and we're filled with this, and we're getting angrier, right? And what does this to us is that it's making us weak. I can give you another example. emperor philosopher called Marcus Aurelius. He was one of the good emperors that the Romans had, right? He was able to maintain the structure of the Roman Empire. He didn't want to conquer other populations. He just wanted to preserve the state of the empire. He thought himself like a shepherd and so on. And his campaign of defending, because he was a defensive character and a Stoic philosopher, he wrote his memoirs, which were like short things. The book is like, I think, 100 pages. Everywhere he had time, he was reflecting upon himself, and he was trying to teach. He was trying to live his legacy in simple, concise words, and he managed to do that by writing his memoirs. They also stood the test of time. Like Bach was able to pass the test of time, right? Also Mozart passed the test of time, right? I don't know about Lil Wayne, if he'll pass the test of time. Nicki Minaj, I don't know if she's going to pass the test of time. Maybe she will, I'm not really sure. But Marcus Aurelius was able to pass the test of time, right? And what he said, the mind is never closer to true strength than when calm. What does this mean? Let's say you're doing something at work and you're calm. Nobody's bothering you, nobody's stressing you, right? And you're doing something. It goes really fast. If a notification comes, if somebody calls you, it doesn't matter who calls you, like a friend, or somebody sends you like a reel on Instagram and you have these notifications on all the time, that task is going to take you so much longer to finish it, right? Rather than when you're calm. And it's an own thing, you can try it on. And I have realized this, that I was angry all the time, so I just turned all notifications off, right? Except for my ringtone. So if it's something critical, then they're gonna call me. You need to limit your notifications in order not to get angry. I think this is also something really profound. And if you get it, there's also like a point added to your true strength. I think it can empower you immensely. It's like mind-blowing. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you get into an argument, I don't know, with a guy at a party. You get in an argument with him, and let's say he's hurting you. He tries to hurt you. He gets like aggressive, maybe verbally, maybe physical. Let's say he slaps you. What you gonna do? Like your instinct is going to either flee or fight. It's these two things. You're going to flee, like you've been outmatched, that's it. You take the defeat within yourself, you bury it, and you're going to suffer from it for a period or so. Or you fight it, right? You go back and you punch him. This is how the society has taught us. I think there's more methods of handling a situation like this. So what Marcus Aurelius was saying is that if somebody hurt you, like in this situation, or only when your mind accepted the fact that you have been hurt, that's when you're actually hurt. Only then. Until then, you're not hurt. He just tried to do something, he just hit you, okay? You haven't accepted the fact that you have been hurt. That's what I'm trying to say. So as long as you haven't accepted, you have this mental capacity, this mental fortitude to entertain a thought without actually accepting it, I think you can become extremely good. As long as you can entertain a thought without fully accepting it. In the end, it's always going to be a mind game. And knowing how to channel your emotions and control them, I think it will give you like a full array of allies, like small allies that you have it within you, that you can use them. You can use them to progress. Now, maybe as a closing part to what I'm trying to do here. Closing part is, in the end, there's a meme, and I'm going to put it right here. As you can see, it's like you have two choices. The suffering is going to happen no matter what. No matter what. So it's within you that if you want to suffer by staying on that couch, eating that, let's say, universal McDonald's, that fast food, binge watching Netflix, binge observing the others, I don't know, on Facebook or on Instagram or on TikTok, and just be in that circle, right? Or you can suffer in a different way by being disciplined and by trying your best in whatever you try to do. Because I think each of us have it. Ask an athlete. I don't know, I'm going to give an example. Maybe Roger Federer. I used to like him a lot as a tennisman. Nowadays I don't watch tennis anymore. I think they're pretty good right now. He was like an icon. The way he was able to play, his precision, his elegance, and so on. But for him, it was something natural. It was something natural because he practiced it every day. Which brings us back to what I was previously saying. We become what we give our attention to. The guy was able to give interviews like it was a walk in the park. Like, okay, he just had maybe like a training session. This is how it was for him, maybe. Okay, it was something so much more complicated because his adversary was also good and he had to play and so on. But he didn't seem like physically exhausted, mentally exhausted, and he was giving these interviews. And not him, just a lot of these guys were giving interviews just after the match. And for us, for us normal people, they're thinking, wow, there's something incredible, this guy. Yeah, of course they're talented. But the work that they've put in, it's tremendous. It's tremendous work. Okay, they also got the chance. They've been born like in better countries, right? Maybe there are Federers and Nadals and Djokovic. Oh, Djokovic is a good example. Still, it became widely considered by a lot of guys like the greatest of all time. I don't know what to say. Literally, I don't want to be biased because the choice is yours. But if you watch this and you want to start something, I'm here to help. You can go in the comments. I would really appreciate your feedback to see if I was able to trigger something and help you. I'm also having like a post section in the channel where you can ask me questions and we can go deep into conversations in no matter what you want to do. I don't have a program to sell you. The program is within you. I don't have a recipe to give you. I only have my examples. So to do like a summary, it's going outside of the box, making sure after you come back that you don't go back under the same routine that you're previously having, under the same loop all over again. Work at least 1 to 2 hours a day towards your goal. Try, loop back, play back the video and see these examples. Think about them and think about you. I think you can really do it. Anybody can really do it. And the fourth thing, it's this thing. Remember that no matter what happens, you will suffer. But it's up to you how you want to suffer. I don't want to end the video in a too serious note.